in his promotion. Now, there are people out there saying, well, they announced it last summer. I don't remember hearing anything last summer. And since no one had anything to do last summer because we were all still on lockdown, I think somebody would have kind of said something. Now, if it was last summer, it kind of interestingly enough coincides with Kennedy's harsh dose of reality in early July. Okay. But who knows? And then, of course, others said, well, it was December. And that's right around the time when Luke suddenly showed up in Mandalorian. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, there's been moving and shaking up at Lucasfilm for a while. I think, to be honest, since 2018. And it is partly due because Kennedy has been such a poor leader, and the other part is because they're not making any money. And ultimately, when you've got a guy coming in like Bob Chapek, who likes cutting corners, who is an accountant, he comes from that very pragmatic school of thought, you're not going to get very far. I think if you're a bizarro, not even really an esoteric thinker, because, hey, Dave, because esoteric thinkers actually can think. All right, and when I think about that word esoteric, I think Dennis Miller. I think Steve Martin. I think of people like that. I don't think about radical, batshit crazy leftists. So, but what does it mean that they announced it, or they said they put it on the website yesterday and they were updating it? Okay, you were obviously looking for a reaction. I mean, you know, we have to understand. We haven't all been born yesterday. Okay, we don't, not all of us are stupid sheep who watch CNN. Okay, you know, there was a reason that came out, and that was discovered. And if it had been out longer, like some have been saying, it would have been out in public longer. Okay, so it was put on yesterday. Found the Tracks talked about it, and then Variety jumped on it. Where it puts Dave Filoni is he's number 3 now. He's like Mohsen Gupta and Dave Filoni. She's doing the money side, the production side, the physical admin stuff. He's the creative guy. Okay, they're this. Then you've got Lin-Wen Brennan and the Beast of Buchenwald, Kathy. Hey, Troy. Oh yeah, well yeah, and you're right, and that's what I'm saying, Troy, is that's that's the point. But it comes a week or two after that big sort of, as Sci-Fi for me said, the Empire Strikes Back moment in all of this. He's not third in line. He's actually, that job that he has is actually Kathy Kennedy's. Oh, happy! Oh, yeah, it is. It's Empire Strikes Back Day. I'll have to. Oh, maybe when I get done talking about that, we'll talk a little bit about this. I can only be on for like 45 minutes because my husband, we have to go run some more errands. He's in his office. Anyway, it's apparent there's a reason why, because I think politically it's the world I came from. They put that out at the end of that article from a week or 2 weeks ago in Vanity Fair. Okay, you got Dave Filoni in this spot where, I mean, he basically is overseeing everything. And And what is MN? What video? Who are they, Dave? I'm not familiar with that. Not my Star Wars. You know, Jesus Christ himself could appear to take the reins of Lucasfilm, and that guy would not be happy. Okay, you know, I don't really care for his take on anything because he's not a happy dude. He's not, and I like him. I think he's a great guy, but you know, and I said this before. I said this again. There are people out there that if you don't give them their perfect version of the expanded universe, where every I is dotted, every T is crossed, they're gonna hate it, and we all know who they are. And there's a way of storytelling where you can use those situations, at least some of them, and put in things that are consistent with what Lucas thought. And I think everybody but them would be happy. And thankfully, they're not a very big crowd. Doing away with those books was a mistake, but it's not the mistake these people think. The mistake is there was a lot of material that could be used that they could have capitalized on by selling books, those characters, all the rest of the stuff that they're now playing catch up with. Okay, they're now playing catch up, and it never should have happened. But going back to Filoni, so we've got all this, and what I think it means is simply that yeah, there is stuff going on, and he's going to be taking care of continuity. He's going to be basically overseeing everything. And because his vision is so vastly and radically different than the story groups, I am really looking forward to seeing what happens next. And to be honest, the person that was supposed to take afternoon Jeremy, the person that's supposed to overlook continuity and relationships between film and story group and all the rest of that stuff, like comic books and all the rest of that stuff. Pablo Hidalgo, where is he now? Right? I mean, that's his job. I thought maybe his job was different, but you know, and when you realize what a low-level employee that guy is, even though he's making 7 figures, I am pretty much convinced that he is done for all intents and purposes. I think he put, I mean, what, you know, his latest new follow that he's following is the G.I. Joe Twitter page. Why? You know, I mean, you know, he doesn't tweet a lot. I don't know if he's tweeting a lot on his real account, but I think, you know, he's been pretty, if he isn't gone, he's been slapped down pretty hard. Here's a question that Tom Conkle, who's on Midnight's Edge right now, put out there. When Gina got into trouble, and they basically made it out there that she wasn't coming back to Lucasfilm, and you know, Pablo was able to go out, mock Star Wars theory, and basically get his hand slapped again. This is again, okay. Remember, this is not his first rodeo at being a dick on Twitter to fans. Okay, so I don't need to go over the play-by-play. We've all seen it. We've all got receipts, and hopefully we all saved them. Okay, but he basically wasn't, I mean, what he did was far more egregious. Attacking the biggest Star Wars YouTuber, basically free advertising for them. What he did was far more egregious than anything Gina did, anything. But is he still there? I mean, you know, I think we'll find out for sure. Either way, I'm going to go with the idea that he's still there, but in a very diminished capacity, especially since the High Republic has been such a bloody joke. I mean, the guy is a failure, but what does it mean that now, even in a diminished capacity, he's looking up there and seeing somebody that doesn't follow his way of thinking when it comes to the franchise? I think that's pretty scary. The thing we have to wonder about is when you look at who's above Filoni, it is Lin Brennan, who's the executive vice president and right hand chick to Kennedy, and that's it. Okay. I'm going to say something. A lot of people don't think Jon Favreau will take that spot. I'm not going to assume or presume to think for him. He's had a pretty good time being a showrunner, but the idea, I think, of being able to come in and fix what was broken and already doing it without interference from the beast of Burbank, Kathy Kennedy, and her sniveling little Che Guevara, Pablo Hidalgo, I think would be attractive. I think being able to hire and fire who he wants. I think being able to make really good Star Wars movies, because look, Tom Conkle even said this. There are a lot of filmmakers in Hollywood that are between the ages of 45, hey, Vader fanatic, 45 and 55, that walked into the movie theater whenever, 1977 or 1980 or whenever, to see their first Star Wars movie and came back completely inspired and wanting to go and make Star Wars movies. We were playing at our own games. We were playing Star Wars. If we didn't have the figures, we were making up our own, lightsabers and blasters and running all over the neighborhood. And those are the kinds of people that's the generation that Jon Favreau grew up in. Okay, he's one of us. He is a Generation X guy. And I think the idea, because I'm going to be 53 in June, the idea that one of us, I call us the George's acolytes. We are the ones that, even if we never met him, he inspired all of us in a way. It was the dream of a lot of us to be able to go and make movies like that. Okay, I can't help that, Dave. I can't. I'm not buffering on my side. We were the ones who wanted to go and do this, who wanted to work with him, who wanted to work in that universe, who wanted to create our own, but if given the opportunity to play in that playground, wouldn't you want to do it? Wouldn't you want to be the Luke Skywalker person to walk into Lucasfilm and fix it? I'm speaking to the kid in all of us. I would kill to do that. I would love it. And I think that given the opportunity to be able to do it with Filoni overseeing creative, and you got Mosa Gupta doing her thing, and, probably would afford you time to go and do your cooking show on Netflix or whatever, okay? Because, despite Kennedy being president of Lucasfilm, she still helps run the Kennedy Marshall Production Company. And they're still producing streaming TV shows and movies, okay? So, why, if you're the president of Lucasfilm, would you suddenly have to give up all of that stuff? I really don't see it, especially if you've got in place people you don't have to micromanage, okay? I mean, the thing about a guy like Favreau is that he can't be manipulated. He can't be bought. He can't be moved to do something bad to the franchise. He's trying to fix what was broken. That's why I think he has probably been offered this job. And we don't know when it's going to happen. Yeah, H boomer, he does. I mean, you know, like I said, Generation X, we're very underappreciated. We're the ones that are now leading the military. We're the ones that are the business people. I mean, I hate to say this, Elon Musk is one of us. Okay. And we're, we are the ones in the end that'll end up being the leaders to clean up a lot of shit, not just the culture, but a lot of everything. And we were inspired by people who were visionaries: Steve Jobs, George Lucas, Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, John Paul II. You name all these people, and they all have very disparate political points of view, and yet they inspired all of us in a way. Okay. you know if you if you grew up between the years 1970 and 1989, if you were a kid and a teenager during those years, you had a great time. We are the last generation to have a really good fucking time. You know, I mean, the 70s were a very kind of dark and despairing decade. And then Jaws, the first big blockbuster. Then Rocky, which was inspiring and huge. Then Star Wars. Okay. And the music was, I mean, I would say the 70s music in some instances was way better than what we've got now. The rise of heavy metal, disco, you've got punk, and both kinds of punk, Brit punk and American punk. All that stuff was growing, and that's where the culture was really sort of there. And then you get into the 80s, and those things that were just opening up the culture to new and better and brighter really came into their own in the 80s. And we were all inspired by that. I was. Jon Favreau was. And I don't see him passing up an opportunity. Not just to be a showrunner, but to put a stamp to fix what was broken on something that never should have been broken, that wasn't broken to begin with. So yeah, I think what all this stuff is leading to is the fact that we're going to hear sooner or later that she's out the door. And then we're going to hear about a lot of personnel changes. Incidentally, since Tom brought this up, I'll bring it up now. I did see the job advertisement that Lucasfilm put out for a junior creative executive for San Francisco for Lucasfilm. I believe that might have been Dave Filoni's job. So we have a timing issue. If he was named to that new job, basically number 3 at LFL, why are they just advertising his job now? Okay, why? It also could actually be Hidalgo's. I don't know. It was just, there's something definitely very dramatic going on, and we have to keep our eyes on it. When people want to sit there and pout and cry and crap all over comments either on Facebook or go into a chat and say Kennedy's never leaving, Star Wars sucks. Well, she is leaving, she's gone almost. If just because you see her name on the door doesn't mean she's doing anything. But see, they don't understand that, and they want to be miserable, or they want to make you miserable because they're miserable. So anything good that comes out, they gotta shit all over it. And I'm saying that a lot, especially at the We Love Cara Dune Facebook page. There's a lot of guys. My favorite thing, and you guys know, I am not a feminist. But when it comes to stuff like this, I expect to be treated like an equal. Okay. And if you're some guy who's not up on the news, who's not going through all the Variety articles and the Hollywood Insider and all the rest of this crap, if you're just saying shit because you're angry and you want to poke the bear and you want to mansplain, you have no idea who you're mansplaining to. So please shut the fuck up. Okay? I'm done. I'm not going to tolerate it. And the reason simply is this. I put a lot of time to this. Hey, Senator Dave, I talk to a lot of people. Okay, I look for all the details I can. The little details, the things that tell you more. The little details tell you a lot more about what could be going on than, a big, nothing burger story. Okay? And there are a lot of people out there who believe themselves to be completely intelligent, who are really just on YouTube and Facebook to just be jerks. Okay? And I've run into them. I've run into a lot. Hey, Gingerbread Man. Hey, chat. Or hi, chat, I guess. I was actually literally reading that. And it's too bad because, they don't want to see things going well. I don't know why. There's nothing out there that will explain to me that mentality. I don't understand it. But let's go to Rangers of the New Republic. So Star Wars Direct posted that they're not developing it anymore and they shelved it. Or it's like in development limbo. That looked to me like it's a Kennedy Camp FU to all this. At first glance when I see that, because Star Wars Direct is a shill channel, is a shill page, and you got to remember that when you're thinking about where's the story coming from. So it really wouldn't bother me. And the thing about Gina, first off, we don't know if she's actually been asked to come back. Okay, she might have been. We also don't know what her role would have been, if any, in that show. I know they were talking a lot about different spin-off TV shows from that, and I don't know if it was that show or if Mando in general. My understanding is that she was supposed to have her own show and it wasn't Rangers, because she was talking about it, and she talked about it to Ben Shapiro. So that's one of the things that we've got to kind of think about. Was it that or not? I'm not worried about it. And I really honestly think, because after what they did to her, that of course they weren't going to develop the TV show as quickly as they wanted to. Okay? It's not news. Okay? And I think the only reason why it came out is because some SJW saw the promotion that was announced for Filoni and realized the fans were way too happy, so they had to do this. We just have to wait and see. I'm not concerned. I don't think it is anything to concern yourselves about. Let's talk a little bit more about the timing of the Filoni thing. Anybody else feel like, well, it was just Gingerbread Man. It's just, why even say that? We knew that. Again, to me, it just looked like someone at Lucasfilm said, post this just to piss people off. The SJWs at Lucasfilm are getting their asses kicked right now. They are. Okay? And it all comes down to who actually takes the presidency over. Again, there might not be a president. It might be Sengupta and Filoni going to Bergman. I mean, that could be it. I don't know. But I do have to say, that it's very interesting to me, again, that they announced, they put it on, it mysteriously just shows up on the website, and then the excuse, well, we're just updating the website, we hadn't gotten to it yet. This is kind of a big deal. You think you might have wanted to do that when it was announced in-house? You know, it ain't, it's hanky. It's there's something really wonky about that. And it's one of those things that I think we need to watch, because it's an indication, it's another indication, I think, of something really, a big shift going on. And with all these other things, and Warner Brothers, Discovery, you know, said, Comcast wanting to buy CBS, you know, MGM being swallowed up by Amazon, you know, would be the perfect time to say Kathy Kennedy is resigning her job at Lucasfilm. She's going on a long hiatus until her yeah, and it also, you know, I'll get to that in a second, but that was an interesting observation. You know, and if they did that, a lot of people would be like, okay, now we understand. And if they said it now, today, on a Friday afternoon, you know, with all the rest of the stuff, we'd notice. Maybe Hollywood would notice, but I think Hollywood already, with the Variety article, I think Hollywood already knows it's coming. It was very strategic, putting it out there. It goes along again with the Variety article. Okay, is, you know, we're, you know, it's just very, it's one of those things where when this is all said and done, we're going to end up realizing we knew more about what was going on than we thought we did. Because then pieces of the puzzle are starting to come back, to come out. Okay. Now, one word from Favreau. Okay, was he behind Heart of the Jedi coming out? Yeah, probably. I would say Doomcock may be onto something there. Was he? Is he behind the scenes working to get Gina back? According to Doomcock, yeah. Was she on the set of Mandalorian? You know, he's the only one that said it, and Ben's saying it, but it wouldn't shock me if she was. Okay, because first off, Gina has a lot of friends on those sets. Okay, she has a lot of people she knows, and the idea of her going on those sets wouldn't shock me. Okay, they're if they do a Luke Skywalker thing with Mando and her, it's going to, I mean, it would be fantastic. It would really be great. And I'm going to predict it. I think it's going to happen. That's my prediction. It's going to happen. The fact that, you know, now people are thinking, oh, Mandalorian 3, blah, blah, blah. Well, they're already working on it. They've already got scripts. You know, and a script lasts in its last draft form only lasts as long as it takes to get that script to a camera. Okay? Well, you know, there are indications from her, she keeps, you know, posting Star Wars stuff on the 4th of May and you know, all that stuff. And it's all very interesting to me that, you know, you'd think if she was done with it, she'd be done with it. And now, you know, there's that, I think Drunk 3PO is selling the Marshall t-shirt. You know, I'm wondering, I'm going to say this, I'm wondering if that was going to be the name of her show. The Marshall. You know, all very, very interesting to me. And we've just got to wait and see, but every other week now, it seems something, a little bit of news gets leaked out. Dave Filoni's promotion, and the boomer excuse, well, we finally got around to updating our website. Bullshit. Okay? I ain't stupid. I don't watch CNN. Okay? So that shuck and jive doesn't work on me. And then, basically stating the obvious with Rangers of the New Republic. For all we know, they're looking at Rangers, putting it up there because they're developing another show right now. All right, maybe they looked at it and said, this doesn't make any sense right now to do it. Vader, I don't know. I think her time with Star Wars isn't over yet. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to make a prediction right now because I was right about Luke. I might as well shoot the moon and say, hey, she's going to be maybe in the last episode of Boba Fett. And if that's the case, I'm going to go. And you also heard it here, folks. I think Jon Favreau is going to end up being president of Lucasfilm. I don't see why he would say no. Why wouldn't he be able to make movies he wants to make? He has his own movie company. He could be the executive producer of these things and direct, shows because he was already a showrunner for Disney. See, I don't look at people for what I think they're going to think. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at people and also project yourself onto them. That's when people say, Gina will never come back. She hates them. She loved everybody she worked with on The Mandalorian. What do you mean she hates? Who does she hate? Okay, first off, the woman doesn't hate anybody. All right, so that's you, talking about you. And if Jon Favreau says, I need you to come back, she'll come back. And I gotta tell you guys, you all freaked out about, Ben Shapiro, blah, blah, blah. He's not that big of a deal. He's in a corner in a conservative ghetto, okay? And he put himself out there. He put himself there the moment he started working for Andrew Breitbart at Breitbart.com. Okay, I remember, all right? And I don't want to see her put herself in a position where that's where she is and she can't get out of it. Kevin Sorbo did that. Scott Baio's done that. Okay. And it's I don't want to see her do that because it's not good for her career and she deserves better. So, just well, Troy, you're right. And again, you paint yourself into a corner by allying yourself with someone like that. All right, I got no gripe with Ben. He's a good guy. But if I was an actress in a situation that Gina's in, the person I'd be talking to is probably Mel Gibson. Okay, not Ben Shapiro. And the reason is this: Mel has been there. Okay, Mel has been there. And look what he's doing now. He's making movies. They're not, a lot of them aren't as big as they were, but Hacksaw Ridge, I believe, was nominated for an Academy Award. He wasn't canceled permanently. There's no reason why she should be, and why she should immediately put herself into a corner because Ben Shapiro said, jumped on the opportunity. And to be honest, why would her contract? Pedro Pascal's contract isn't exclusive. He's going to be doing The Last of Us and Mando. So, and I think Last of Us comes after Mando, not before. Okay, so it's like, see, people don't know, and they don't care to know. They want to be mad, they want to be upset, they don't want to think, they don't want to be pragmatic, they don't want to strategize like I do, and a lot of us other people do. Now to think, what is the next step? And with this announcement of Filoni, in his promotion, which apparently happened last December, and we weren't told until, oh, thanks, Arsonist. Okay, guys, all right, I gotta go. So, because he's hovering. So, I'll talk to y'all later. Maybe I'll come back later, and I'll see you around the galaxy. Be cool.